Hi, my name is Jill, and welcome to a about 35-minute gentle yoga flow class. We're just going to begin in a seated position and take some nice deep breaths. And if you would like, you can bring your hands to heart center and set an intention for the class today.
You could still see where the water was.
You can either set that intention for yourself or for anyone else. So we're going to begin with a few shoulder rolls, just inhaling your shoulders up and back. You can go through that 3 times at your own pace before moving into some forward shoulder circles. So we're inhaling up and exhaling forward. And when you're through those at your own time, we're just going to warm up those wrists so you can interlace your fingers in front of you and just twist your hands in a circular motion to let those wrists release and get ready for the class. Just switching each direction a few times and then giving them a nice shake before we move on to a little bit of some neck lengthening and stretching. So we're going to inhale, lift our hands overhead, interlace the fingers, and we're just going to bring our right palm or elbow down and reach over to extend through that side body. And when you're ready, you can reach over to the other side, lengthening and stretching that side body before returning back to center. Next, we're just going to go through some simple neck movements. So lowering your chin to your chest, we're going to breathe through some neck circles. If it's not comfortable to extend the neck all the way back, you can just keep that neck forward and just do a semicircle through the front half of the movement. So we'll do 3 cycles here before turning our neck to the other side. And just breathing through 3 cycles in the opposite direction. We want to ensure that our spine and our upper body stays lengthened through this. We're not dumping into our low back or our core here. So we're going to inhale, come to neutral, and exhale, look to your right. Inhale to neutral, exhale, look to the left. And just going through that. One more time here. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, look over to the side. So once you're done there, we're going to inhale, neutral. Exhale, you can send your ear and drop your ear to your right shoulder. And an option to give a little bit of a bigger stretch here, you can bring your left hand down and use your right hand to extend and further strengthen that neck movement here. So when you're ready, moving to the other side, exhaling that left ear to your left shoulder, and helping with that left hand if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch. So once you're ready, you can come into a hands and knee position. We just want to make sure that we're nice and aligned here, so our wrists, elbows, and shoulders are all in line, and we're going to go through some cat-cow. So inhaling, you're going to look up, chin up, rounding through that back, and exhale, arc the back, look down, and in your own time, just breathing through a few cycles. Inhale, drop the belly, exhale, round through the spine. So next we're just going to go through some shoulder lengthening, so you can inhale, lift your right arm up, and exhale, drop your ear to the mat. Option to give a little bit more of a stretch to the side body and the back. You can extend that right hand or the left hand overhead. And just taking a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, you can use that left hand to help yourself up, extend through that right arm, and return back to neutral. Moving on to the other side, so we're going to inhale that left arm up and exhale, thread through. An option to lengthen that right arm above the head for a little bit further of a stretch here. Just resting your ear on the mat and breathing deep through this stretch. So when you're ready, you can inhale, arm back up, and return to neutral position. So here we're going to tuck our toes now and come back into our first downward facing dog. Really important to make sure that we're lengthening through the spine here. So if you're feeling you have tight hamstrings, you can really bend through the knees to make sure your back is getting that nice lengthened position. To warm up those hamstrings, you can bend through each knee. And once you're feeling okay and steady, you can just stabilize and maybe shake the head no, nod it yes. Just let that neck hang and lengthen in the same direction as your spine. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, toes up, heels up, and we're going to walk to the front of our mats. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing position. Exhale, hands to heart center and down. We're going to inhale, lift your hands over the head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, back to that halfway lift. And exhale, step back into a high plank position. Now we're going to lower the knees here and come all the way down to the mat. We're going to come to a baby cobra, just lifting the chest. Exhale, body down. Inhale, come through the knees onto the toes, back into that down dog position. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, we're going to make our way to the top of the mat again. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, bring the hands all the way overhead. And exhale, hands down. We're going to go through this sun salutation again here. So inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back into that plank. We're going to go through a chaturanga here. So we're going to come down to a low push-up position. Flip the tops of your feet down and come up into an up dog position. Exhale, down dog. Just take a couple deep breaths here before you make your way to the top of the mat. Option to hop or step to the top of the mat. Inhale that halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to the sides. Coming to that flow again. Inhale. Exhale. Halfway. And make your way through that flow. Option to go into down dog if you feel more comfortable, or come all the way through the chaturanga to down dog. Just taking a few moments to reset here. We're going to lift our right leg high and exhale. Step it through to warrior one position. So your front leg and knee is in a bent position and your back foot is at a 45-degree angle supporting your body. You're going to exhale, step the foot back. Option to let that foot hover and come through to your chaturanga to up dog and exhale, down dog. We're going to move on to that left side, inhaling that left leg nice and high, and exhaling, stepping through for that warrior one position. Inhale, lift the arms high, take a breath here, and exhale, bring the arms back down, step back, and bring yourself down to that chaturanga position. Exhale, down dog. We're going to come through that motion again here. We're going to lift that right leg high, but instead of stepping through, we're just going to open that hip up like a big yawn for that front body, that front hip. And when you're ready, we're going to exhale, bring that knee to the nose for a little bit of core work. Inhale, bring that leg back up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, leg up. And exhale to left elbow. Inhale, leg up. And exhale, bring the leg all the way through for that warrior one position. We're going to exhale, bring those hands to an interlaced position behind your back. Look up, chest is up and open. We're going to exhale, allow the shoulders to drop and open over your back, allowing the head to drop. Taking a couple deep breaths here. We're going to inhale, come up, and we're going to exhale, coming into that warrior two position. So you may need to widen your stance here a little bit. We're going to bend through that front knee with your knee over your ankle, and we want our hips both nice and square to the front of the room. We're going to extend those arms out wide, lengthened, and at the same level of each other, and your gaze will just be to the front of that middle finger. We're going to inhale, flip the palm, and come up to sun salutation one, and flip over to extended side angle. Inhale, coming back into that sun warrior, and exhaling through to that extended side angle. One more time like that at your own pace. Exhale, extend through. We're going to inhale back to that warrior two, coming to triangle pose. So inhale, we're going to strengthen that, lengthen that front leg, and just extend through, reaching your front arm down to touch either the mat or your shin. Option to have your arm on your lifted arm on your side hip or up in the air with your gaze to the tips of those fingers. We're going to inhale back up to that warrior two position and just settle in, taking a few deep breaths here. We're going to inhale, square our hips to the front of the room with both toes pointing forward. We're going to grab at our hips here and just fold over for a nice stretch through the back body, allowing the head to just lengthen and relax here. Just taking a few deep breaths in here. Maybe bending those elbows to get a deeper stretch. Just go to whatever your personal maximum is. And when you're ready, we're going to grab our hips and inhale all the way back up. And we're going to come back into that warrior two and windmill our arms down back into that high plank position. Option to go through a flow here or to go directly back into that downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to lift that right leg high. Left leg high, and step through into that warrior one position, coming onto our other side. We're going to exhale, interlace our fingers, lift the chin, lift the chest, and exhale, fold over with those shoulders and your arms extending. It's really important that if you have any sort of hypermobility here, that you keep a bit of a bend in your elbows to prevent any overextension. We're going to inhale our way back up, lift the arms, and exhale, we're going to come into warrior two on that other side there. So bending into that front leg, keeping that back leg nice and straight. I'm just going to come onto the other side so you can see what I'm doing here. So remembering that gaze is just over that middle finger. We're going to inhale, come back into sun warrior, and exhale into that extended side angle, just resting that elbow on your thigh. Going through this cycle 2 more times in your own pace. Inhale, lift that front arm, and exhale, extend over into extended side. And when you're ready, returning back to that warrior two position. Just resetting here, maybe inhaling those shoulders up and back. Before we come into our triangle pose, extending through that straight front leg, sending those hips back, and reaching down to your shin or the mat with your top arm either at your hip or extended up, wherever you're feeling most comfortable. So when you're ready, we're going to come back into that warrior two position. Just taking a breath or two here. And coming forward to have both toes pointing forward, and this time we're going to interlace our fingers behind our back. If this is too hard on the shoulders, option to just drop the arms and have a passive stretch here. Option to either reach to each ankle for more of a side body stretch, and you'd feel this through your entire posterior chain, so all along those hamstrings and calf muscles. Taking as much time as you need on either side. Returning back to that center position, reaching for your hips and inhaling all the way up. Returning back to that warrior two stance for a moment and just making your way back to the top of the mat there. So we're going to go through just a little flow here. So we're going to inhale above the head and exhale, come down into a chair pose. So you're bending at the knees. You're going to inhale, arms up, exhale, hands to heart center, lengthen through the spine, and then we're going to twist to our right side. So we're going to bring our right elbow to our left knee. So option to keep the arms in the prayer position, or you can extend through both hands for an extended stretch. Maybe seeing if you can just sit a little bit deeper into this. Inhaling, lengthening through the spine, exhaling, twisting a little bit further. And on your next exhale, you'll just fold all the way through, heel-toeing your feet out to about hip distance apart. And you can either passively just reach for both elbows, or you can bring your peace fingers to wrap around your big toes for more of an active stretch through that back body. And when you're ready, we're going to heel to those feet back in. Come all the way up, inhale, and exhale back into that chair position. Inhaling, lengthening through that spine, exhaling, bringing those hands to prayer position. And on your exhale, twisting over to the opposite side. So again, seeing if you can get nice and low here. Option to open those wings or to keep your hands at prayer position. Inhale, lengthen through that spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper if you can. And really being mindful that your knees are nice and even throughout this. So on your next exhale, we're going to fold through. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, bring the hands down. So we're going to step to the top of our mat. Or you can step to face knee, whatever you're feeling most comfortable with. So we're just going to come into mountain pose. So just feeling that nice strength through your body, just standing, relaxing your shoulders down. So we're going to bring our weight into our left foot. We're going to bend our right knee and either place the sole of our foot at the calf, ankle, or all the way up into the crease of your upper thigh. So for tree pose here, we just want to make sure that we have a nice balance. So option to keep your hands at the hips, bring those arms to a prayer position, or if you're feeling up to it, you can extend through the tips of your fingers, and for a bit more of a challenge, extend your gaze up towards the ceiling. Wherever you're feeling most comfortable, just take some deep breaths here. And it's okay if you fall out. If the balance isn't there for you today, that is okay. And when you're ready, we'll just exhale, relax everything down, shake out those legs. We're going to bring our balance into the opposite foot there, and whatever comfortable position you're in, you can just bring that sole of that foot to the position that you did on the other side. And just taking the arm options that you're most comfortable with. It really helps here in this pose to focus on one point that is stationary and won't move to help with the balance throughout the duration of the pose. And on your next exhale, you'll just release down your arms and release that leg down to standing position. So we're going to take one more standing position here. We're going to inhale, bring that right knee over and across your left leg. Option to wrap twice, so the top of your foot is hugging the back of your left calf. So we're going to inhale the arms up and do the same crisscross with the arms. So you're wrapping that right arm under the left, and the goal here is to touch each palm together. And you're just really going to sit into the pose. I'll show you a side view here. So you want to keep your back nice and upright, lifting those elbows up high, getting a nice stretch through that upper back area. And you can inhale, lift those arms up, exhale, release the legs. And we'll come out to the other side. So bringing that weight into your right leg, lifting that left leg up and over, crossing either once or twice, inhaling those arms up and coming into the full eagle pose. Just taking a few deep breaths here, feeling that stretch of the back body, again focusing on a point of focus for keeping that balance for the pose. So we're going to let go of that pose and just come to the top of our mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, we're going to step back to a high plank. And we're going to slowly make our way to the mat. So just coming down for a few counts, making our way all the way down to our belly and just relaxing here, letting your forehead relax and your arms down by your side. Just taking a few deep breaths here. So we're going to inhale, bring the palms of our hands close by our sides with our elbows facing up. And when you're ready, we're going to lift the forehead, lift the chest a little bit, keeping that core and pelvic bone really glued to the ground, pressing through. For one more inhale and exhale, you can release onto your one side, letting those arms relax down. And we're going to inhale, bring our forward back to center. Taking another variation, interlace your fingers behind your low back. And when you're ready, you can inhale, press through that pelvic bone, lift up the chest, option to lift those legs, and we're just zipping those legs together so you feel like you have a mermaid tail. You're just really lifting through your whole back body. So we're going to exhale, release that down. For the next one, option to take either of those two variations we just did, or there's an option to reach for the tops of the feet or the ankles. And inhaling, pressing through, being mindful to keep those legs as close together as possible, lifting the chest and kicking through those quadriceps muscles to allow yourself to pull your upper body up. And when you're ready, you can exhale yourself down, just taking a moment of relaxation. When you're ready, we're going to help yourself up and come over onto your back. So you're going to walk those feet. So your feet are about hip distance apart, and you can graze the back of your ankles with your fingertips. We're going to engage the core here and press that tailbone into the ground before we lift up into our bridge pose. So we're going to lift those hips up high, pressing through the glutes, pressing through the hamstrings. Option to interlace those fingers and roll the shoulders under for a further extension through that front body. And just taking a couple of breaths here, being mindful of the glute work we're doing here. And when you're ready, you can exhale, come down. We're going to do 2 more rounds here, so option to take that same variation. Or you can try a cactus arm variation where you bring your arms to 90 degrees and lift through the glutes, lift up to that bridge pose. Feeling a bit more extension through the chest here. And exhaling, come all the way down. For the last variation, taking either of those options, or you can bring the palms of your hands right by your ears and lifting up all the way into a wheel pose. If you haven't done wheel pose before, maybe don't try it today, but you can lift up through the arms, through the legs, working towards extending through the arms. And exhaling back down. Just letting that low back rest, hugging those knees into the chest to release that low back. Option maybe rock back and forth to give that lower back a bit of a massage. And we're just going to come into a little bit of a stretch here called thread the needle. So we're going to bring our right ankle over our left knee, flexing through that right foot to just protect the knee, and grabbing for either the hamstring or the shin to provide a nice stretch through that right hip area. Just taking a few breaths here. And when you're ready, you can release and keep the position of the legs and just let that right sole of the foot drop over to the right side, to the left side, sorry, and then you can either extend the gaze to the left side or if you're feeling up to it, extend the gaze to the right. And inhale, bring those feet back to neutral. We're going to move on to the other side, bringing that left ankle onto the right knee and reaching those arms through to give that hip a nice opening stretch here. Taking a few more deep breaths here. And on your next exhale, release, going into that side twist, bringing your gaze either to the left or if you're feeling up to it, keeping it there, or just bringing the neck to neutral or to the right if it's too much. And inhaling, bringing those legs back to center, releasing the feet down. We're going to rock and roll through the spine up into a boat pose. So we're going to sit on those sits bones right underneath. And we want to extend through the spine here and lift those knees. So option to have the hands supporting the back of the knees, maybe extend out to the side or into the middle, keeping that core nice and strong here. We're only here briefly, so just inhaling, keeping that core strong. Exhaling, we're going to cross the knees, lift through the hips, and give yourself a little break here. We're going to inhale, come back into our second round of boat pose. So inhaling through, extending the feet forward, keeping that spine nice and long and strengthened. All your core is doing all the work here. Option to lower into a low boat. Inhale up back to high boat. One more breath here. And exhale, cross those legs. Lift your hips up. And one last one here. So we're going to inhale, come back up into that boat pose. Option to support the back of the legs. Come into exhaling through a low boat. Inhaling up to high boat. One more round. Option to just stay in that high boat. And finally relax down into your final pose, Shavasana. So just letting go of all control here, letting yourself breathe naturally. Maybe doing a little body scan here, allowing your body to relax. Maybe starting at your toes, working your way up through to the crown of your head. Just reminding each muscle group to relax to its fullest capacity. This is a moment of just complete relaxation. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you need. Or you can slowly conclude the class with me while just rolling over to your side, using your arm as a pillow. And slowly, if you can keep your eyes closed while doing it, just make your way up to a seated position. And we'll just take this moment here with our eyes closed to remind ourselves if we set an intention at the beginning of class, or just to thank our body for being here today on the mat. Option to bring those hands to heart center. And I just want to thank everyone for joining me with this class today. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.